Hi, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Dr. Jennifer Degler, and I'm so excited that you're here. This is kind of different for us. Normally, we're giving out relationship advice, but we've just had our upstairs redone in our house, and some of you had wanted to see the new kitchen, so I thought, why not show you how to make a banana cream pie, and then you can see the new kitchen. So I would love for you to leave a comment below this live feed. Why don't you tell us where you're watching from and your favorite kind of pie? Because at the end of this broadcast, we're going to give away a prize to everyone that left a comment. Not to everyone who left a comment, but to one person out of everybody who left a comment. So do leave a comment, say hello, maybe tell us your favorite kind of pie, and then we can enter you to win something in our drawing. So won't that be fun? So, okay. Banana cream pie. This is my husband's favorite kind of pie. And you're supposed to make it in a double boiler, but I don't have a double boiler, and I think that is a lot of trouble. So I'm going to show you how to make this amazing, delicious filling in the microwave. And then once you know this, you're going to be making cream pies all over the place, and you're going to be famous for them. I am famous for my banana cream pie, and you're going to be famous now as well. So you ready to get started? Okay, so because you're going to cook this in the microwave, you want to make sure you've got a plastic or a glass container, something that can go in the microwave. And we're going to start. This recipe is really easy. I actually put the recipe up on my website under as a blog post, and then also on our Facebook page, Dr. Jennifer Degler Facebook page. If you scroll down, there's a link so that you can go to the website and see the recipe if you'd like to make this yourself. So we're going to start, and the recipe calls for 2/3 a cup of sugar, of white sugar. Now, I'm actually going to use 1/3 a cup of white sugar and 1/3 a cup of Splenda, because I like to kind of cut down on sugar. I've made this one time with all Splenda, and I didn't like it very much. It just did, Splenda can taste really kind of sweet in your, I don't know, it kind of has this yucky aftertaste to it. So I like it better with using 1/3 a cup of sugar and then 1/3 a cup of Splenda. But if somebody in your family's really watching their sugar, then you could make it with all Splenda. It doesn't set up quite as nice. It's a little bit runnier. And nobody in our family has the diabetes, so we don't really have to worry as much about our sugar. But I do think that helps. And then this is 1/2 a cup of just plain flour. So we're going to dump that in as well. And then we've got 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then we're just going to whisk this up. So it's just the dry ingredients whisked up. And then once we do that, we're going to pour in 2 cups of milk. Now, this is just skim milk. You probably are supposed to use like whole milk or something like that, but I don't have whole milk in my refrigerator. I have skim milk. So we're just going to use skim milk, and I'll be honest with you, I can't tell any difference in the taste. So that kind of cuts down on your fat by using skim milk. And then we're just going to whisk this up, and then we're going to put it in the microwave. Now, this is a brand new microwave. Don't you love my new microwave? So it actually cooks a little hotter than my previous microwave. So what I used to do is what I'm going to do now with a little bit of an alteration. But what I've put in the recipe for you is to cook this on high for 2 minutes. So we're going to put that in and just cook it for 2 minutes. And see, that is so much better than just standing. You would have to stand here at the stove for 10 minutes with a double boiler stirring constantly, and ain't nobody got time for that. So now while we're doing that, let's talk about your pie crust. Because with a cream pie, you are going to need an already baked pie crust. So here's one I baked earlier, but let me just show you what you would do if you're doing a pie crust. Now, you may be thinking, how did you get this incredibly beautiful pie crust like this? Well, that's because I bought it. I don't make my own pie crust. if you may make your own pie crust, and if you do, I'm just not worthy to be in the same kitchen as you. But I buy Pillsbury pie crust. And oh, look, there's a pie crust. So we're just going to put this right in this dish and then push it down here. And then I'm just going to fold the edges under. You want to make sure when you're doing a pie crust that you do push down on those edges so that it sticks to your pan and it won't shrink up as much. So I'm kind of folding these under a little bit, and then I'm going to come back and kind of make them a little bit pretty. But I'm not going to make it really fancy because I kind of want it to look homemade so everybody will know I made this pie. And if they say, oh, did you make your pie crust? You can say, well, I baked it. See, which is, you weren't lying. You really did bake it. And so I'm just squeezing between two fingers just to make this little pretty fluted kind of pattern. So we're just going to do that and flute the edges. See, this is really easy. This is so quick. Once you start making cream pies, you're going to be making these all the time. And then we're going to poke holes in this crust. So we're just poking holes so that when it bakes, it lets some of the air pockets out. All right, now, did you hear that? So our microwave went off. So let me show you what this looks like after 2 minutes. So after 2 minutes, I hope you can see this, it's basically still very liquidy. And we're just going to stir it up. Can you hear that? It's just liquidy. And we just give it a good whisk. And then we're just going to put it right back in for 2 more minutes. So we'll put that in and set our timer. And then come back over here. Now, you could bake this in your oven just like this. But I'm here to tell you, it's going to puff up. It will puff up. So what you want to do is blind bake it. Now, that doesn't mean you bake it with your eyes closed. What that means is you're going to put something in this pie shell to help hold it flat. So this is a piece of parchment paper, and these are, do you know what these are? Hopefully you do. These are little ceramic pie weights, and you can buy these at you can buy them at Walmart or a baking store. You can buy them online. If you don't have ceramic pie weights, you could use dry beans. You just need something heavy that's in here. And we're just going to pour that in there, and then see what that does is that's weighting down our pie. And so it's going to bake, and it's not going to all puff up. So then we're going to put this in a 450-degree oven. And make sure you set the timer. Every time you think, I'm not going to need to set the timer, you're going to make a mistake. I always do. So always set your timer. What I like to do is set my timer for 9 minutes. It actually needs about 11 minutes. But what we're going to do is we're going to bake it for 9, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to take those pie weights out. It'll be nice and flat at that point, but then that'll allow the rest of it to crisp up really nicely. Okay, so how are we doing over here? So we're almost done with this. Now we need to keep working on our filling, and we are going to separate our eggs here in just a minute. But this pie filling is just about done. So let's pull this out. So this is the second time, we're finishing up the second time that we've cooked this for 2 minutes. So now, I don't know if you can see this, it's kind of thick, but it's also still liquidy. So what we're going to do is give this a good whisk again and stirring that up. And so it's thicker, but it's still pretty runny. So it needs to be cooked some more. So just stir it really well. And then you're going to put it back in for one more time of 2 minutes. All right. So let's just put that back in the microwave. And then I love this because Normally, you couldn't do anything but just stand here for 10 minutes with a double boiler. But see, you can do other things while it's cooking. Okay. So now we need to separate our eggs. And I remember somebody telling me when they were a young bride, they had a recipe and it said separate the eggs. And so what they did was they just put the eggs away from their other ingredients. That is not what it means to separate your eggs. What you're going to have to do is separate your yolks from your whites. And so we're going to actually put the whites in here. Now, I have a confession to make. I don't like meringue. Now, you may love meringue, and if you love meringue, what you're going to do is you're going to take these egg whites, and you're going to use these 3 egg whites, and you're going to make this beautiful meringue. But I don't like meringue, and Jeff doesn't like meringue. And so we put Cool Whip on our pie. Now, I know Cool Whip it's not even, for a lot of people, they don't even think, now see, I just got egg yolk in these whites, which you could not make good meringue with that now. So it's a really good thing I don't plan on making meringue. But we put Cool Whip. And I know it's not even a real food, but we're from Kentucky. And if you've lived in Kentucky all your life, you have a little bit of redneck in you. And so we like Cool Whip. So that's what we're going to actually top this pie with. So now we've got these 3 egg yolks that are separated. And you could, here's what I do. I take these egg whites and I say to myself, I'm going to make an egg white omelet with these. And I cover them up with plastic wrap and put them in the refrigerator. And then about 2 weeks later, I find them, and then I throw them away. So that's probably what I will do today as well. So I will have good intentions of using those egg whites, but then I won't. So now we've got 3 egg yolks in our pan. I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Look at my magic faucet. It's one of my favorite parts of the new kitchen. Okay, so now, ta-da! This is really nice and thick. Very thick. See how thick that is at this point? And you want it really thick at this point. So we're going to whisk that up. Now, we need to get these eggs in this hot filling. But if we were to put these eggs on top of that hot filling, do you know what would happen? We would have scrambled eggs, because basically that's like a hot pan right now. So you can't just pour your eggs on top of there. So what we're going to have to do is temper the eggs, just like you temper chocolate. So take your eggs and just whip them up. And then you are going to very slowly add just a little bit of this hot mixture, because you're trying to raise the temperature. Just keep stirring and just put a little dollop in there. And that's raising the temperature of the eggs very slowly. And if all of a sudden you have scrambled eggs, you added too much all at once. But just keep stirring, and now we're just going to add a little bit more. This is the trickiest part of this whole thing, and really it's not tricky once you've done this. And then we'll add a little bit more. And now we've gotten those eggs tempered to where we can add them to this hot mixture. This is the part when I was thinking about doing this, I thought, I have never scrambled these eggs in years of making this pie, and what if I do this live? Because that's what would happen. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put this in here, because it's hot enough now that we can add it. So we're just going to scrape that in there. There we go. And now we're going to stir this up. Oh, it's looking good. Okay, now where you're going to have to scrape down the side of the bowl here and the lip of the bowl where you kind of poured it out. So scrape that all up. And then let's see how our pie crust is doing. So we have about 3 more minutes on our pie crust. So we're going to just stir that up. So that's the consistency that we have now. And we need to cook this a little bit. Now, in my old microwave, I would cook this for 1 minute and then stir it, and then I would cook it for another minute and stir it. But now, in my new microwave, I do about a minute and I stir it, and sometimes it's done after a minute. But sometimes it might need a minute and a half. So it kind of depends on how strong your microwave is, how old your microwave is. But you do need to cook this just a little bit. But now you're only doing it for 60 seconds instead of 2 minutes like you did before. So we're going to put that in there for a minute. Now this is such a great recipe. This is actually adapted from Joy of Cooking, which when I was a new bride, I got this in 1987. This was the quintessential American cookbook. This is before we had something called the internet when you could Google recipes. And so this recipe is old Irma Rombauer. I would just read this at night when I was a young bride, and I learned to cook from this cookbook and from my mother as well. So this recipe comes from there, although she didn't tell you to use a microwave. But what she does give in there are ways to take this basic recipe and make a different kind of pie. So if you don't like banana cream pie, which I can't imagine why you wouldn't like banana cream pie, but let's say you don't. We used to have a youth minister, Tyler, who could not stand bananas. So if you were making a pie for Tyler Crossan, you could make it differently in that, for instance, if you wanted to make a chocolate cream pie, what you would do, let's see, I wrote this down, you would cut up 2 ounces of unsweetened chocolate, this kind of unsweetened chocolate, and you would melt it in with the milk, and you would increase the sugar to 1 cup. So instead of 2/3 a cup of sugar, you do a cup of sugar, and then you put 2 ounces of cut up chocolate in, and then it would melt. And lo and behold, you now got, everything else is the same, you would have a chocolate cream pie. Or if you want to make butterscotch cream pie, my sister-in-law Beth, that is her favorite kind of cream pie. Listen, our pie crust is done. So let's come over here. Isn't this fun? I feel like Rachel Ray. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you can just grab this parchment paper and pull it up, okay? And then, so look at this pie crust. Let me just show you this. So the pie crust is a nice shape, but it's still, you can see a little bit of the fat in it, so it needs to be baked just a little bit longer. So I'm going to put it back in for 3 minutes. It actually did puff up a little bit more because I forgot to poke holes in, I poked holes in the bottom, but I didn't poke holes in the sides because I got excited and forgot. Okay, so let's do 3 minutes more just to get that base of that really nice. So I was telling you what else you could do. Oh, if you wanted to make a butterscotch cream pie. So what you would do then is you wouldn't use white sugar, you would use brown sugar. And you would substitute a cup of brown sugar. And then you would decrease the vanilla that we're going to add in a minute to a 1/2 teaspoon. And if you wanted to make a coconut cream pie, which my brother-in-law Kevin, that's his favorite, instead of putting bananas in it, you just would put coconut in it. And lo and behold. So this is just a great all-around cream pie recipe. Okay, so let's look at this. All right. So this is really nice and thick now. And you want this to be pretty thick because we're about to put 2 tablespoons of butter and some vanilla in here. And that is going to thin this somewhat. So it needs to be pretty thick, and I think that is really good and thick. So I'm only just going to cook it that 1 minute. But depending on your microwave, you might need to cook it for a minute and then maybe another minute. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of butter. Please use real butter. Don't be buying margarine. Really, I know butter is expensive, but you need to buy real butter because margarine has water in it. So just use real butter and I use salted butter. Now technically you're supposed to use unsalted butter, but we like salt in our family. And I also think it just adds more flavor and it preserves the butter. So if you set out like a stick, just to kind of have to put on toast, it'll last longer. So that is 2 tablespoons of salted butter. And then here we've got 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Oh, and let's talk about vanilla a little bit. Okay. I don't know what happened to make the price of vanilla go up so much. Maybe somebody can comment and let us know what happened to the price of vanilla. There's been, I don't know, some kind of storm or some vanilla bug or something. But this little bottle of real vanilla, this was $19 at Sam's Club today. But it is worth it. Please use real vanilla. And when you buy vanilla, put a little bit, just a little slosh, anytime you bake something out of a box. So if you're making pancakes out of a box or waffles or blueberry muffins or brownies, just put a little vanilla in there, real vanilla, and it'll really take away the box taste. Or brownies. It makes brownies taste so much better. And it's worth it. And I know you might have to take out a second mortgage on your house to be able to buy real vanilla, but it'll be worth it. Okay, so we've put the vanilla in there and we've put the butter in there, and now we're going to stir it up, and this is going to be done. And now what we have in this bowl is heaven. Oh, my goodness, that is absolute heaven. So our pie crust is done just in time. So we'll pull this out. Don't you like the happy sound of my oven? These new appliances, they sing to me, which I like. It's, to me, they're saying, we're so happy to be in your new kitchen. Okay, and then we can just turn that off. Okay, so, well, that pie crust kind of slipped down a little bit. That just happens. I'm not sure who that is on the phone. If you're watching, please hang up the phone. All right, so we're going to stir this up just... I think that's actually my daughter, Josie, calling. Oh, there's nothing like live video. Yes. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so, all right, so we've gotten this. Look at this. Oh, this is just so delicious. You know what else you can use this for? If you're making like a trifle, this cream, don't use boxed pudding. Ugh. Make this filling instead, and then make a trifle with it with cake and fruit. And people, they will be eating your trifle and laying down on the floor and screaming. It's just going to be so good. You're going to love this. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make a banana cream, the banana, make this is just a cream filling now. We're about to make a banana cream filling. Again, if you wanted to make a coconut cream pie, you would just dump this coconut in here right now and stir it up and then dump it in the pie shell, and you would have yourself a coconut cream pie. But Jeff doesn't really like coconut. I love coconut. When you get married, there's some things that you have to make sacrifices. I love mushrooms. He doesn't like mushrooms. So there's some sacrifices that I have made. So if you ever see me and would like to bring me a piece of coconut cream pie, I would really appreciate that because I don't get it a lot. Okay, so what we're going to do now, here is a little pie trick, okay? The original recipe, she said that you should just take your bananas and slice them up and put them in the bottom of this pie shell and then put your cream over the top. Do not do that because you will get a soggy bottom. And nobody wants a soggy bottom to their pie or any other kind anyway. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to put a little bit of this cream in the bottom of this pie shell. Okay, now just a little bit. Now here is where you need an offset spatula. If you do not have an offset spatula, you need to run to the store and buy one. This is going to change your life. This is a game changer. See how it goes down like that? Because otherwise, if you just have a regular knife and you're trying to spread this around, you're going to poke a hole in your pie shell and you're going to get carpal tunnel from doing that. So what you do is you take this offset spatula. Hang on, I need because this is hot. And look how easily we spread that around. with this offset spatula. Let me hold it up so you can see it. See that? And we're just doing a thin layer of this cream in the bottom. And that is going to help keep the bottom crust crispy. Okay, now we're going to, I'm trying to put things where you can see what's going on. Now we're going to cut up our bananas. Now when you're not supposed to peel a banana from this end. Everybody does, but if you watch monkeys, they actually peel from this end. This is the end that you're supposed to peel a banana from, and it's so much easier. See what you are learning tonight? You learn so much when you come in the kitchen with Dr. Jennifer. Okay, so now I'm going to cut these up. Now, I'm a little bit OCD, and so I like to cover this whole thing with a little thin piece of banana. And we're cutting the banana at about 1/8 of an inch thick. And that way, everybody in every bite gets banana, because we don't want anybody unhappy when they're eating your pie. So we're just going to cut these up thin, not too thin. If you get them really, really thin, then they just kind of get all gummy and yucky. But if you do about 1/8 of an inch, and then we're going to, this is the OCD part. We're going to make sure we're going to lay them out pretty. So every little inch has banana. Now, you don't have to do this, but then what will happen is people will get a bite, and it won't have perfectly distributed banana. And most people will be too polite to say something, but if I was there, I might say something. Okay, so now what we do, we take our cream. Now, it's going to thicken up as it sits, so you're going to have to whisk it again, and we're going to carefully put, see how it kind of comes out like a ribbon? Oh my gosh, I love this cream. I would like to take a bath in this cream. Okay, now you need to keep half of it because you're going to do one more layer. So make sure you don't dump it all in there. Don't get excited. And then you're going to get this offset spatula again, and you're going to gently spread that carefully because you don't want to mess up your bananas. You're going to put that over the top. Can you see? See, just like that. Okay, then we're going to do more bananas. Oh, this is so good. Notice that I peeled like a monkey does. Okay, and then we're just going to cut this some more. So this is my husband's favorite pie. And my mother-in-law loves this pie too. Now, my father-in-law, he did not like Cool Whip. He really liked meringue. But if you come to my house, you're not going to get meringue. But I think you should take what you get and don't throw a fit. That's what I think. And really, you can eat the ends of the bananas because you probably need the potassium. Okay. Now, I usually end up using about 2.5 bananas for this pie. And make sure they're good and yellow. Don't get green bananas because green bananas they have that funny taste. They make your mouth do funny things. Okay, so we're going to spread this out, and then we're going to get the rest of that cream and put that on top. Oh, this looks so pretty. Okay, so I'm going to tip this and show you all how I've done these bananas so that you would get a banana in every bite. See? Hang on. See? Da, 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 da. There you go. All right, now hang on, my nose was running. Okay, now we're going to stir one more time because this is getting thicker. And we're going to put this right on top, and we're almost done. See how easy that was? I mean, now, you do need to, if you're going to put Cool Whip on the top of this, it's going to have to sit in the refrigerator for a while. So this is a great dessert to make in advance and give it about 4 hours. But you could serve it warm like this. This is incredible eating warm. But I would not put the Cool Whip on top of it because you would melt it. But you could just maybe put some Cool Whip to the side or some cream to the side, some whipped cream. So we're just going to spread that out. Oh, this looks really good. Okay. Now here comes my favorite part of making a cream pie. That is my favorite part, is what is left over. And I'll show you what I do. I like to just take this and you kind of go like that. I'm telling you, it's just buttery and creamy and sweet, but it's not too sweet and it's got enough salt in it. This is so good. I would tell you that I wish you could be here to have some, but I really don't wish you were here to have some because I want it all myself. Okay, so now we're done with that. So what we would do with this pie is we would, I'd let it cool just a little bit. So I'd let it cool and then cover it with some plastic wrap and then put it in the refrigerator. And so when you go to transport it, here's what you want to do. So let's say you're going to a potluck. Don't put the Cool Whip on the pie before you get to the potluck because it is the pain to try and put plastic wrap over Cool Whip. So what I always do is, and let me show you because I already have one here that I made earlier in the day. Okay, so I would just let this cool for a little while, and when it's cooled off some, then I'd cover it with plastic wrap, put it in the refrigerator. So here's one that I made earlier in the day. So we're going to have lots of pie in the Degler house, which is always a really good thing. Hang on, I got to wash my hands. Can you all stand it? I can't stand it when my hands are dirty. Okay, so let's say you're going to the potluck. So you bring your pie, and then you bring your thing of Cool Whip, and then you bring, look, a big offset spatula. So you need two. You need a small one and you need a large one. You also use this to frost a cake. I'm telling you, game changer. So you get to your event, and then when it's time to serve dessert, then you're going to peel off the plastic wrap. Now, here's an important pie tip. Condensation will have gathered underneath this plastic, so there'll be a little bit of water on the top of your pie. You want to get that water off your pie because, again, we don't want a soggy bottom. So just get a paper towel and just gently kind of lay your paper towel wherever you see water. And then, see, so it just, I don't know if you can see that or not. There's just a little bit of water there. Again, a little OCD, but it's worth it. So then what we're going to do is we're going to get our Cool Whip. Now, I know Cool Whip, if you look at the ingredients, this is really not a good thing to be eating. But I eat clean almost every day, and so please don't email me and tell me what a terrible thing this is. Just, I'm 53, just let me eat my Cool Whip in peace, please. Thank you. So what you do then is you're just going to dump this right on top. And then you just spread it out. And ta-da! Look, your pie is done. Oh, and by the way, this extra creamy Cool Whip, this really is the best Cool Whip because I read in Consumer Reports, they actually did a little study and they looked at all the different kinds of Cool Whip, and that was the one that tasted the most like real whipped cream. So there you go. Ta-da! Okay, so now there's your pie. All right. Now you get to eat your pie. Oh, let me tell you this, okay? If you go to a potluck or a Sunday school social with a pie like this, people are they're going to be reluctant to cut into your pie because they don't know what kind of pie this is. So they're like, oh gosh, if I cut into this pie and it's not a kind of piece of pie I like, then I'll have to eat it. And so your pie may not get eaten. So they have pie anxiety. So what you need to do, this is a little secret, to make sure your pie gets eaten, is go ahead, as soon as you do this, cut a piece of your pie so that they can see what it is. And then your pie will be eaten, and that's always such a good feeling. Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. We're going to cut into this pie, and I am going to invite Jeff Degler to come over here and have some of his favorite pie. And this, I'm cutting it with a steak knife because I think it cuts a whole lot better with something really sharp. And then look, oh, this is beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. See how nicely it holds together? Oh, so nice. And, oh, wait, because tomorrow is Jeff's birthday. It's also Kevin's birthday. So I think I may take that extra pie shell that I have and make a coconut cream pie for Kevin. He actually likes meringue, but he's not getting meringue. He's getting Cool Whip. So, Jeff, before you eat this, you get a candle in your pie.
You're going to have to actually add a lot more candles.
Okay.
To be true to form.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. And happy birthday. Go ahead. Yes. Yay! This is your birthday song. It isn't very long. Hey, okay. So you can have the
true
first.
Test, folks. The
yes,
true test.
the true test right there.
Look at this.
I'm going to get me a fork.
Look at this.
Is it good?
Food of the gods.
It is. That's what he always says. He says, food of the gods. So you've got this flaky crust, and you've got this nice filling, and then you've got, look, bananas, several layers, bananas in every bite. That is so good.
Divine.
You've got flaky, buttery crust that I baked. I didn't make it, but I baked it. And then lots of banana.
It's practically health food, really.
It really is, if you think about it.
It's like a food group.
It is. You've got eggs, you've got milk, you've got the fruit of bananas. It is breakfast, really. It's a whole lot. It's kind of like having a bowl of oatmeal, wouldn't you say?
I think after a couple more pieces,
Yes,
I will be good.
I think so
I'll
too.
be
Okay.
all dieted up.
Okay, well, I need to talk, but I'm going to eat. I can't wait to eat some of that. So, happy birthday to Jeff, and thank you for joining us. Okay, and then I want to give away a, I've not been able to see the comments this time to see who's going to win a prize. The prize I'm going to send you, though, is I'm going to send you an offset spatula so that your life can be forever changed by the offset spatula. And so I'm trying to figure out now how I can see who's been commenting, and I'm not seeing it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll go back and pick somebody and let you know, and I will send you this offset spatula to change your life. So thanks for watching. Again, if you would like the recipe, there is a link. Just scroll down our Facebook page and you'll see a post that has a link. We put it on the Jennifer Degler website as a blog post. It's called Banana Cream Pie. That's the title of the blog post. So you can always go to jenniferdegler.com and just search on banana cream pie and the recipe will come up. So thanks for watching, and I hope you make this pie for somebody you love. Bye-bye.